So if you're hearing me, let me know, because it's already 9. I want to start this lecture so that we can look at the div tag with example. For those of you who have not yet joined, please join. I don't know where I'm getting the echo from. Is the echo coming on my side? No. Okay, let's get started. Today we are going to look at some concept that I believe you guys know. I don't want the echo bit of it. Where's the echo coming from? Okay, I believe there's going to be no echo. Now, today we are going to basically look at the div tag, the div tag with its example. Please try to mute when you join. Everything is okay. So we're going to basically look at the div tag. It's going to be our focus. We have that HTML file that we created sometime. And we're going to look at how we can implement the div, especially on the part of the body, okay? So that we can explain more about the div tag. But let me explain to you in brief is that the div tag in HTML, which I know you've already done HTML, but basically my work is to do CSS. The div tag in HTML is a versatile and commonly used element that serves as a container for grouping and structuring the other part of HTML elements. It stands for division. That's what it means by the word div. Please try to mute. Okay, it's very funny to join lectures and then you start talking. Let me first mute everyone. I believe I've muted everyone. So I'm looking at the div tag in HTML. That is the most commonly used container. So the div tag, the div tag in HTML is a versatile and commonly used element that serves as a container for grouping and structuring other HTML elements. It stands for the word division and is often used to create divisions or sections within a web page. Within a web page. That's what the div tag is all about. Please mute. When you join, please mute. And make calling. Don't allow me call your name. Very unserious people. You join in a class when you're on the street, funny backgrounds. We'll talk about it later. So the div tag, literally, it divides the container or section within a web page. Now let's look at the div tag, how it is being written. So in most cases, you open the tag and write div. When you close, it will have the opening and closing. So that means you've created a division of other HTML elements that should go here. So if you copy this text and then cut and paste it here, that means this text H1 is in this container of this division. That's what the div tag means. So it means that the H1 welcome to my website is within this, so it's within this division. So we will also consider another example of how we can use a simple no, the recording will be available. The recording will be available on YouTube. Don't worry, it will be available. So I'm denying you, but the recording will be available on YouTube. Okay. So the div tag basically help us to create a division in this container. So it is dividing this part from this part. That's why we use the div tag to separate other elements and content. Now let's have an example where we are going to consider a simple way how to create a layout with header, main content, and sidebar and footer section. And we see how we can create the div tag. I have explained to you, Adeke, we don't need to see your face. You would force people to see what they don't want to see. Let me just turn off your camera for you. Some of you have taken time without using these gadgets. You even don't know how to turn off your video when you join class. Okay, so we're going to have the div tag basically to help us create 3 areas. You're going to this is inline. We will use the inline CSS rule for creating the div tag. So basically, if I may comment here, I don't know, I can duplicate this text. Okay. So basically, you read this. We will create a layout with header, main content, sidebar, and footer section. So this is what we're going to use the div tag basically for. We want to create a header, main content, sidebar, and footer section. So how are we going to do that? I'm going to delete this code, but the type of CSS which we are going to apply is going to be what? Inline CSS. So let's do it in this way. we will have our title, and this title we are going to call it div tag. And then we will have the head. Now, since we have the head, we'll put all this content within the head section. Let me just extend the body down and put it here. So all this content is going to be within the head section. Is that okay? Then we'll apply the style. Of course, the styling basically is going to take care of, this styling is going to take care of, we will use, use inline CSS rule to do this in the style. So now we can create the div tag using what we call the CSS rule that will help us to style all those content. And then we will later go to the body and create that. And that is going to make our understanding a little bit easier. So before we do the CSS, it is important we first do what we call the divisions. Not so? Because we are interested in basically learning the division, not so? So let's start by creating the division. So we'll create a division. Now inside the division, we'll create a class. I haven't talked about class. Okay. We'll create a class. And this class here, we will call it header. Okay. Now this class header will have the section H1, which is saying, let's call it, let's make the understanding easier, even for explaining. We'll call it what? Header section. No, it's header section. Then that div ends up to here. Then we are going to create another div for sidebar. Now remember this container here, the div container, this container takes only the header section. Now let's create another div. Another div. Now this div is going to take, let's call it H2, which is going to take basically the sidebar section. Okay. Then we also going to say, create maybe like a paragraph here and say P and say this is the main, no, this is the sidebar content. This is the sidebar. So all these two are within this other div. Then you can create another div, which is for division. And then we will create another H2 and say main content. main content section. And then you can create maybe a paragraph. And say, this is the main content area. Okay. All right. Then we can create maybe the last division. Which is basically going to be, let's use a paragraph for this, which is going to be the footer section. Okay. So since we now have the footer section, we have the body, and then we now have the HTML. So this part of the text, we can now remove it because this is outside the div. Okay. If you don't want the code to be long, you could even reduce it. Okay. So the only thing which we need is we have successfully created the division. So let me now explain to you this tag. The next part is that we are going to do the CSS. Is that okay? So, but I need first to explain this for you to understand. And once you have understood, it's going to be easier. Now, what it is meant here is that the div tag are used to create distinct sections. Like the sections we have created is the header. Oh, we need to create classes for everything. Okay. So which class can this one be? We could call this class. Let's call the class sidebar. Let's use the small letter sidebar. Then this class, we can call it what? Main content. Main content. And then the last one we can call the class footer. Okay, so we have all these classes within the main content, and of course this is so beautiful. Now, if we reload this page here, we should be able to see this content on the browser without any problem. So let me try to reload the page using so I want to load that page. I want to load that page so that you can have a look at it. Okay. Okay. So this is how the div will look like in the normal way. Basically, they are the texts that are showing up there. And we could also make it more beautiful in our source code here. Let me add another paragraph. And I say, all rights reserved at I've put that, but there's nothing much there. So when I go back to the browser, I can reload and you can see all rights reserved at Jeff Jove. So this is basically how you can create division. Now, I was still telling you that, okay? I was still trying to explain to you this code for you to understand. I was saying that these div tags are used to create distinct section, header, sidebar, main content, and footer. Now, I used to create header, sidebar, main content, and footer. Each of these div has a class attribute to apply to CSS. We created classes, and the classes are header, sidebar, main content, and footer, so that we can attribute and apply to our CSS styling for positioning where they're supposed to be. Now, we are now going to go to the CSS style and define and also specify the appearance and layout of each section and background, color, padding, and alignment. So what you're going to do here, this was one thing that we did. We are now going to do the styling. Basically, we want to do the styling to take care of, oops. So we want to do the styling. Let's say that we'll create the apply CSS style for background, color, width, padding, and alignment. So this is going to be the CSS that we are going to apply, but we are going to use the inline CSS. Is that okay? You're going to use the inline CSS. I'll try to show you with the inline, then you can also try to change. Instead of using inline, you can use another type of CSS. So let's do the styling here. So we are going to do the styling. Allow me remove this part and put it right there. Oh, it doesn't show up. So I'm going to do the styling now. So the styling, is going to be CSS for styling. And now here, my focus is going to be basically on the classes. So I'm going to start with the first class here, which is going to be dot header. Then I open the curly braces. Then I put the background color. The background color, I've already taught you how to put colors. You will keep putting the color based on your choice. You can use the color code or what. Yeah. Yeah. You'll apply these color codes the way you want them. Okay. This doesn't stress you. Okay. Now you can also do the color white. White is basically white is basically 6F. I like using this type of coloring. Let's do 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. I don't know what that. Yeah, I can't delete this. Okay. Okay. Then you can apply padding of 20 pixel. Then we can do text align, put our text in the center. Now I did this literally for the header. Now I'm going to try to show you something in the sidebar. Let me first reload this. So when I reload this, basically the gap between this and this is literally 20. The padding here and here is 20. So the background is this color. The text is aligned to the center. Okay. You could even change the font family if you wish. You could change and say font family. Then you can come and pick this font family. You save, you go to the page, you reload, the font family changes. So that is how you apply for the header. Now let's go and apply it for one more thing, which is going to be so we are done with the header. You can now go ahead and apply for the sidebar. Remember, we created the class sidebar. So for us to create that change on the sidebar, we need to put dot sidebar. Then we can now go ahead and say our sidebar should float left. That means supposed to be on the left side. Then the width can be like 75%. Okay. Then we can also have the padding that to be 20 px, 20 pixel. Okay. No, I think let's change the sidebar to be 25% because it might be very big. Then the padding to be 20, then you can put the background color. The background color, we can try to use color codes. You can use color code like F2. Yeah, F2 is okay. We can save it, press Ctrl S, then go back to the browser and reload. So what it means here is that it has moved this content to the left. It is floating to the left. And now this is the main content. Now let's go ahead and also look at, let's go ahead and also try to format the main content section. So for us to format the main content section, we're also going to go and do the styling for main content. We use the dot main content because it's us who created that class. Dot main content. Then we can say float. We're not using the float, the flood color. I mean float. Float. So what we want it to do is that let it also float left. And then the width to be 75%. 25 plus 75, that takes the entire 100. Then you can have the padding, which can be 20 pixel. So let's see what this means. This means it's going to come to the left 75. So let's go to the page. And let's reload the main content. So you see the main content is already here. Huh? Yeah, this is the main content. It's taking the 75%. Okay. Now, you could even put the background if you want. Put a background color of your choice. Yeah, you could put a background color of your choice. When you come and say background color, could even pick color from here and save it. Then when you come here, you reload. This is what it means by, I'm putting colors because colors can help you see the width. So the width means from here up to here is 75%. Here up to here is 25%. Now you see our footer is still disorganized here, but we want to change, customize the appearance. So it is CSS that can help us bring this footer and put it below, okay? So let's try to also work on the footer. So now for the footer, we shall say footer then you can basically call it clear So clear means we clear both. Okay, I will explain this in a few. Then the background color, you can use this first color, the one with 3. Then, or even you could change it to blue. Doesn't necessarily mean it should be that color. Yeah, even that color can work. So that's why I prefer using the color like this. Even this one, I can first change it to maybe a color like, then I can come back here and move the color. I prefer using it like this. This is much better than using those RGB. Just better use it the way I'm using it. Then we have the background color. Now we need to do just the color of any font to be white. And then we can do the padding. Padding, I normally like using 20 px. I think there's something in the chat. So if I may ask, why are you using the dot, not hash? Because we have seen codes with hash. Okay, the dot basically helps to pick it when you point on it, basically, the dot will help to specify the element class. Obuko Emmanuel. The dot helps to specify the element class. Is that okay? So the dot basically helps to specify the element class. Whenever you point on it, it will tell you selector specifier. When you use the dot, it gets the selector specifier because we created the specifier in the div. And then you are saying, why are we not using what? Why are we not using the hash? Eh? So let's try to use the hash and see. Okay. You could also use the hash. No big deal. It works. So the choice is yours. But basically, it specifies the selector. Actually, it doesn't work. It doesn't pull it down. Okay. So this is what happens when you use the div tag. The div will basically helps you to create these pages like this. Create the sections of the pages. Okay. So what we could do with our source code, since we already finished that, is that we could only maybe try to align our text align to be in the center. So that when we come back to our HTML tag, we highlight so that our text is in the center. So that is how you apply the CSS. So I'm going to pause here, take question, maybe do one more example, and that would be using the external CSS. Okay, but for now, I will try to I'll try to take back this question to you so that we can we can try to discuss this together. So I'm giving you an opportunity to discuss with me if there's anything, because the next part we are going to apply it using the what? Using the I thought the main content was supposed to be float to the right, since the sidebar is float to the left. Emmanuel Obuka, you're not supposed to be fixated. CSS gives you full control on where you want it to be. If you float it to the right, you're not supposed to forcefully put information onto your head like, it's supposed to be to the right. It can be to the left, it can be to the right. There's nothing big there. What we are trying to do here is basically understand. And in any way, when you put it to the right, you see how it appears. It shifts to the right. Don't be static that it's supposed to be to the right. No, it can be anywhere. Have that flexibility. It can even be to the center. This is for demonstration purposes. But when you're doing your web page, how it looks like, that's what you do. It can even be to the center. There's no crime with that. Huh? There's no crime with that. You can even put it in the center. I'm not going to punish you. Huh? And then it goes and stays there in the center. So that it is, you keep placing them and see where it looks well. If it looks well there in the center, yeah, go ahead and use it. Emmanuel, I thought the main content was supposed to be floated to the right. What? That is Scrum work. Have the flexibility mindset that it can be put anywhere. I'm using it for demonstration purposes. The reason why I put it to the left is because I want you to see that we have specified here. I wanted you to see the difference between 25. I wanted you to see the difference in the width between 25 and 75. That was the reason why I put it to the left. My reason of putting it to the left is for you to see when you reload that 25 stops here, 75 goes up to here, but you can put it anywhere. Okay. Thank you. As a software developer, you just need to have the understanding, okay? So are we just maintaining color white in the main content? I've not even put any color in the main content, but you can also put the color white according to Sharon. Sharon, you see, I have not put anything like color, but when you go ahead and put color, now you put white. The reason why you are putting white color is that when you see this color, let me ask you, when you see this color here, is this color coming out very well? This color here, the black one, it's not coming well. So the choice depends on you. You can put that color white and it comes out very well than other colors. You can even put that color yellow. You're not supposed to cram anything here. And that's where you will get challenges. You can even put the color to be that one. Any color of your choice, as long as when you reload the page, you refresh it and you are happy with it. When I see the color like that, if I'm happy, I leave it there. The choice is mine. Exactly the way Armstrong is saying. It depends on your choice. Okay. I'm loving this class now. It's fun. Okay, let's keep the comments coming. Don't cram anything here, by the way. Me, I'm not cramming these codes. I'm just playing along with them for fun. Any question? You can unmute and then we talk. Now, can you try to implement this using using what? Can you try to implement this using external CSS? Members, can you try to implement this using external CSS?
Yes, sir, we can try that.
Okay, let it.
Only this.
Yeah, only that, but use external CSS. And you send it to my email. Remember, we use internal CSS. So basically, our today's lecture stops there. Let me even stop recording. Any question? Let me take the attendance list for people to see, those who have been attending, those who missed, so that they can follow it very well.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Is it mandatory for that thing, the footer, to have that information you put, where you can add any information of your own choice?
Any information? May I just put that one for
So what basically do we put in the footer?
the footer?
Yeah.
The text that appears in the footer, like normally, like quick links. You want quick links. I can try and put for you some and see. I'm going to put just a second.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
On the attendance list, I have attended the class with Deborah here. Her phone got an issue, so you kindly as well add her.
Deborah, how are you?
Deborah.
Deborah, how are you?
I'm fine. Hi, sir.
I'm fine. Life is good?
Yes, it is good.
Okay. Are you understanding?
Debbie. Yes. Yes, I'm understanding.
This violence girl called Layla.
You remain
Layla,
serious.
what? You gave me Layla. You gave me Deborah. Now you are bringing violence. Okay. I have also added Deborah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I was asking, the footer, how do you make it fix to the bottom of the page?
How do you make it fix to the bottom of the page?
Yes.
You want to create it responsive, because right now there are no content. That's why it is not adjusting to the bottom of the page. Because when you try to resize it, you see, it doesn't collapse to the. We will do it actually. We will do the collapse span so that it becomes responsive. But that is still ahead. But if you look at the course outline, it's still there. We'll try to do collapse span so that when you collapse it, it becomes responsive so that it's always at the bottom of the page. Is that okay? Right now we are moving step by step. Have you understood? There's a column span. We're going to try to use that later, but not now.
Okay, sir.
Any question? There are people who are joining. I've already finished taking attendance list. Okay, let me do it for the last time. Leah, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine too. You know, you're a very stubborn girl. You like violence all the time.
You're accusing me now.
No, I want us to go to Ginger. You and Deborah, plus other two men. Nimba. Eh?
You'll be the one paying.
Yeah, I'll pay.
Then
I'll
why don't
pay.
you also come with your own woman?
I don't. I told you I don't want women.
And just get some chick and then you just enjoy life with your age mates.
So for me, okay, I rest my case.
And you say me and Deborah and other two men, which means you're the only one who will not have a woman.
Which is okay.
But you will feel bad when you see other people doing other things.
I won't feel bad. I know they do.
True.
I won't. I won't.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm used, by the way. I'm used to staying alone. It's in my DNA. But don't always put violence all the time.
But I don't even do that. You're the one who is assuming things.
No, it's you. You gave me Deborah. Now everyone knows that Deborah is my girlfriend. And
Yeah, did I say, you see, you're even accusing yourself.
So
Did
you
I
need
say
some
anything?
serious nyash.
So are we
Some
done for
serious.
today?
Okay, we are done. Let me log out and share the recording. I'm going to share the recording.
Bye.
Okay, bye, Leah.